Hello, everyone, and welcome to BodyBags. I'll be your reviewer for today. I'm Lonnie from Tats, and yeah, this week we're doing a theme week, and as you can see, the theme is called Shot Glass Horror, which is basically a movie that was just done as a one-off. Not a sequel, a prequel, a requel, a reboot, a remake, none of that kind of stuff. Just a movie that ended up being a one and done. And this is a movie like it left itself open for a sequel, but I don't believe it ever ended up having one. At least not that I'm aware of. Um, but let me ask you a question though. Do you love smut? Sure, we all do, right? So anyway, yeah, this one here, and this actually was one of the video nasties. The movie that I'm talking about is from writer director Jess Franco. Runs 118 minutes. Stars Britt Nichols and Libert, and the movie is called The Demons or Les Demones, something like that. And, yeah, De- Demones, or something like that. Anyway, The Demons, and pretty much this was what ended up happening was around the early 1970s. You ended up having Ken Russell's movie The Devils come out, which was kind of like considered the pinnacle of like nunsploitation films, and so they went to Jess Franco and they told him, we want you to do something like that. We want you to do, kind of a nunsploitation movie, and lots of nuns doing naughty things, having sex, things like this, and everything else. And so he decided to go ahead and do that. So Franco set his film during the time of the Spanish Inquisition, where you have the Lady de Winter. I think that's how. Yeah, the Lady de Winter. She is her and her guard, who is also her lover. They're in charge of looking for people that they feel are witches, and then they take them to the castle and they torture them and everything else. And they get word at this convent. Well, there are these two sisters that were taken in by the convent. One is Sister Margaret, played by Britt Nichols, and the other one is Sister Kathleen, played by Anne Libert. And they get word that they think that one of these girls might have been possessed by the devil, and what it ends up happening is that Sister Kathleen is very sexually active, and it turns out her favorite pastime is playing with herself, masturbation. And so even the mother superior is pretty much, she's made aware of, she's like, I hear one of the nuns comes in and tells the mother superior, I hear, moans and groans and things like this coming from, Sister Kathleen's cell. And so the mother superior goes to check it out, and she observes, she observes Sister Kathleen having some fun time with herself. And so she responds by going back to her cell, and she has she prays and everything. Then she decides to strip naked and have a little bit of playtime of her own. Well, anyway, so you know the Lady De Winter and her guards, they come in and they inspect the nuns. They they bend them over and all this. They're like hiking up their dresses and all this kind of stuff. And she's examining them, and so they she's all like, okay, this sister, this nun, she's not pure and everything, which is Sister Kathleen. So they decide they're going to take her in and they're going to torture her and stuff. Go through the Inquisition. Try to make her confess that she's a witch and that she's been involved with Satan and things like this. So anyway, so they do this, and there are some kind of scenes. It's a little bit of, excuse me, little bit of blood, a little bit of gore, a little bit of torture porn in there and stuff. But meanwhile, while this is going on, and um, Sister Margaret, she ends up being the one who meets with the devil, and it's laughable. It's one of the funniest things. I think it's probably one of the most unintentionally funny things I've ever seen, because when the devil shows up, because Sister Margaret, she's in her cell, and the devil appears before her, and the guy is dressed up like one of these dudes you see at a Renaissance fair. He looks like somebody who would be like a court jester or something like that. He's got the whole getup. He's wearing like the red, kind of outfit and everything. He's got a hat on and all this kind of stuff, and the dialogue is funny and everything else. And she's like, "Oh my God, who are you? What are you doing?" "I am Satan. I'm here to do whatever and all this." And so he basically has sex with Sister Margaret. And when all is said and done, he ends up, giving her a curse that whoever she has sexual contact with, she will kill. So yeah. So I mean, he's like, yeah, almost kind of reminds you of Thaisa Farmiga's character in American Horror Story. It's like that damn man, sex with her is so damn good it'll kill you. So that's what she ends up. She decides she's going to take this curse that the devil has bestowed upon her, and she decides she's going to use it as a weapon. And the first thing she does is she uses it as a weapon to have this, really hot and heavy lesbian softcore scene. The movie is it's mostly softcore. It really is. It's mostly just a softcore sex film. I'm not gonna lie to you. Okay, but it does have some interesting ideas. I'll get to that in a minute. I'll just finish this up. So, she decides to have a really hot and heavy session with the Mother Superior, basically, getting her to, having sex with the Mother Superior, lesbian sex with the Mother Superior, and then, getting her to admit that, now she is, now she's tainted. She's no longer, a daughter of Jesus and all this kind of stuff. And, it freaks the Mother Superior out so much she kills herself. And while in the, the whole chaos of everybody finding out that the Mother Superior killed herself, so then, Margaret, she runs off. So, her sister Kathleen, she's able to escape, and she gets picked up, and they decide that they're going to try to figure out how they're going to bring down Lady De Winter and things like this. And they're kind of doing kind of like a revolt. They want to do a revolt against these religious and political figures and stuff like that. It's very heavy. There is quite a bit of social commentary in this movie where they talking about like these people that these people, it's always the people that present themselves as righteous and perfect, and the ones who are always like working in the name of good and honesty and everything usually end up being the ones who are the most corrupt and everything else. And so they want to kind of bring down their reign and stop the Inquisition and things like this. Well, so Sister Margaret, she's able to kind of infiltrate into the castle and stuff, and she gets invited to a dinner party where the Lady De Winter recognizes her. And so so Margaret is able to seduce the Lady De Winter, and there's another, lengthy softcore lesbian sex scene and stuff, in which, at the end, she just, in just a quick shot, Lady De Winter, becomes she becomes like a skeleton and stuff. And then, so then, the sisters, they try to make their escape. That's the thing. I'm giving away just a little bit too much. There's not too much to give away, but I don't want to give away much more. But anyway, so now the sisters, they're kind of found out, and they have to basically, try to see if they can plot their escape and how they're going to do that, and, what's going to happen. Is there going to be an uprising against, the church, and uprising against the Inquisition and things like that? So, yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't think this through very well, when I decided to do this. But anyway, so that's pretty much right about there where I'm going to leave it. And, that's really about all I could say. It's like, I know that, that Jess Franco had worked with, Britt Nichols on other films, like, what was it, Living Dead Girl, I believe. And, I think another one was A Virgin Among the Living Dead and stuff like that. But, but then eventually, like he would find his ultimate muse that he would work with, with his wife, partner, whatever she was, Lena Romay, and they would go on to do a lot of movies together. But the thing is, it's like, the thing about this movie is like, it has some good ideas, and there is some interesting ideas for a story here, some interesting plot points and everything else. It's just not executed very well. It's almost like, it's almost like, if Franco had been just maybe a little bit more ambitious, and just say, you know, I have some ideas here. I really want to flesh them out. I really want to explore them and stuff like that. I think he would have made, you know, probably a more interesting, you know, provocative film rather than just kind of bowing out and saying, okay, yeah, I have the shreds of these ideas here, but rather than go forward and explore that more and kind of work on that story more, I'm just gonna, you know, basically make a 2 hour, you know, softcore porno. And that's mostly what this movie is. You know, it's just a lot of long drawn out sex sequences, a lot of long drawn out masturbation sequences. I mean, you know, it's like, sure, it's nice to see a lot of, you know, beautiful naked women, sure, but it's just at the same time though too, you know, this movie is almost at 2 hours. It really doesn't need to be that, you know. And also too, when you realize the majority of the reason why this movie is 2 hours is because, you know, you got these really long drawn out softcore scenes, and you know, and I hope you like, you know, here's the thing, you know, I know I do, but you know, if you like looking at you know, beautiful women's, you know, female bodies and their anatomy up close and everything else, this movie's got you covered, because there are a lot of like zooming in shots on, you know, zooming in and zooming out shots on women's, you know, bodies and their body parts and everything else. So if you like that kind of a thing, you're gonna love this. The women are beautiful. The erotic scenes, you know, I don't think are going to be for everybody. I think some people are going to be like, "Ooh, wow!" You know, I think a lot of it's just kind of the appeal, whether, you know, the context and everything would appeal to you. But you know, if it doesn't, then it's not going to. You know, but you know, I think some people, you know, who are into the whole kind of nunsploitation thing, they're going to like it. You know, if you're into like softcore girl on girl scenes, you know, all that kind of stuff. If you're into that kind of a thing, then yeah, you're gonna love this movie. And you know, regardless if it doesn't have much of a plot or much of a story to it, but yeah, I just kind of feel that I just feel more like this movie is really a missed opportunity. You know, it's like it could have been. I think it could have been more. You know, it could have been a really interesting horror film. It could have been an interesting social commentary about, you know, you know, when political and religious leaders, you know, people who are always going out, you know, especially in days like this, you know, this movie would have been a lot more, you know, relevant. You know, we could have had like a story about where, you know, talking about like, you know, people who are political and religious leaders, people who are always, you know, trying to show this face of being, you know, the ultimate good and trying to be the ultimate right and just and everything. And these people usually end up being the most corrupt and everything else. Like this movie would have been a lot more prevalent. But anyway, that's pretty much what I'm going to say. It's all like, yeah, if you just, if you just like good, you know, soft core, then, you know, yeah, this movie will probably do it for you. If you love, you know, nunsploitation, lots of naked nuns, you know, doing naughty things, and yeah, you're going to definitely love this movie. But yeah, I will say though, yeah, probably while you're watching, because like I said, this movie runs 2 hours long. There's probably going to be moments where, yeah, you're going to be grabbing the remote just to hit the forward button, just to kind of speed it along. But anyway, so that's about it. So if anybody took the time to watch this, I thank you for doing it, and I appreciate you for doing it. I really hope you enjoyed this movie or this video, and if you did, please leave it a like. If you haven't, please go ahead and subscribe to the BodyBags channel. We have a different reviewer, one for every day of the week. I'm the Saturday reviewer. We have different guys. Everybody's doing all great stuff, and so yeah, more fun theme weeks and everything else. So yeah, everything's going to be good. So take care, everybody. Have a good night, and I'll see you later.